Hello everyone, I'm Dan Filgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, July 15th. On today's show, Dotty Morrison and missionary Karen Fitch will tell us about the Village Church Women's Ministry Global Outreach Meeting. We'll also learn about the COPD support group from Jack Hubbard and Dr. Bill Staples. But first, we want to remind you iPad owners out there that there will be another iPad walk-in clinic tomorrow at the Computer Teaching Center in the Island Tunnel. Now that'll be from 10:15 until 11:45. It's a free clinic, so come on out and get your iPad questions answered. Even if you don't have any questions, there are endless things to do with this handy device, and you're sure to hear about something new that will be useful and/or fun. The Village Church Women's Ministry Global Outreach Meeting has a special speaker this month. Karen Fitch has been a missionary at the Bungalow Hospital in Gabon, Africa for the last 22 years. She will be sharing stories from her experience as a nurse practitioner, supervising nursing at the hospital and training young nurses. And she will share about new aspects of the ongoing work. Karen recently sat down with Dotty Morrison to give us a preview.
Hi, I'm Dotty Morrison. Passion for health care needs in developing countries is something many of us here at Shell Point share. And our global outreach speaker for this month, Karen Fitch, has made that her life's work. Welcome, Karen. So good to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Karen, tell us a little bit about the work you've done at the Bungalow Hospital in Gabon.
Okay, I've been at the Bungalow Hospital for the last 22 years, actually in Africa for a little more than 30 years.
Wow.
But at the Bungalow Hospital, I arrived when there were only 2 doctors, and I had a nurse practitioner background at that time. And so I started out working in an outpatient clinic and seeing everything from heart disease to leprosy and tuberculosis. And then I saw a need for, as we grew, for more middle management, kind of a nursing supervisor person. And
yes.
So I stepped into that role for a while. And all of the time that I have been there, I've been teaching nursing students. That's how we staffed our hospital.
That's exciting.
And worked with the students, mentored them in their clinical experiences at the hospital. So it was a variety of experiences. I have had a great time.
That's wonderful. All of us here at Shell Point know transitions aren't always easy. Have there been some surprising or unexpected things that you've had to process and go through this year?
Well, it wasn't surprising. I think I knew that it would be hard to leave after 30 years in Africa, but it's been hard. It's been hard to leave the place and the people where I've invested all my years, these last years, especially the majority of my life.
Right.
Leaving the people and also the work there, and trusting God to keep carrying on when I wasn't there. It's hard to come back to reintegrate into a culture that I thought was my own, but has changed so much. And
in that amount of time, America has changed quite a bit, yes.
I mean, I've been back, but I haven't really lived here. And so can I adjust? Can I understand the changes and go with them or not?
Well, I'm sure that those who come on Wednesday will be interested not only in what's happening new at Bungalow Hospital, and there are some new things, but also in what's happening with you and what God is teaching you, what you're learning. We're all learning together about what happens when we transition to something entirely new. And so I know that people will be very interested in both those topics. We look forward to having you.
Thank you. I look forward to sharing what God is teaching me and how He's used me. And it's been a challenging but a great life following God.
Right. So come this Wednesday, the Social Center at 10:15. Refreshments will be served at 10 o'clock. Bring some friends. Karen's going to be giving us some wonderful insights about the Bungalow Hospital and what's new there, as well as what God is doing in her and what she's learning about transitions. I'm sure that's something we can all relate to.
COPD stands for Chronic Obstructive Pulmonary Disease. Jack Hubbard has been living with this condition, and he and Dr. Bill Staples are here to talk about the support group that can be of great help to those who must deal with it.
I'm Mary Franklin, here today with Jack Hubbard and Bill Staples, who are the leaders of a Shell Point support group. They are in charge of the COPD support group that meets quarterly here at Shell Point, and For more information, you can check your Shell Point Life for their exact meeting times and locations. But let's find out a little bit more about this wonderful group. Thank you for being here today, gentlemen.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Jack, it's been a couple years ago. I remember I was walking out to my car. It was the end of the day. You were waiting for the bus to head home, and you said, Mary, I have an idea. And you wanted to start this group. Why did you feel the need to start a COPD support group?
Well, so many people had come up to me, seen me with my portable oxygen, and would ask questions. And I found out over a period of time that a lot of people were so unaware of what they needed to know about many different facets of this serious problem we all are experiencing, and should have more knowledge about it. And I thought if we could get some people in that were really knowledgeable and could be helpful, as well as exchanging ideas.
Right, and so you wanted to start touching the masses instead of one at a time. And Bill, what does COPD stand for?
Well, Jack knows too, but it's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And it's a huge umbrella. It covers many, many illnesses, or starts with many, many illnesses. And I think, at least I think of it as a chronic progressive illness that we have to handle, as in diabetes, for instance, cannot cure. And it's what we do to handle it that's important. I know Jack started the group originally for oxygen, in other words, for people who were carrying oxygen.
Correct.
But so many of us are on oxygen at night or at other times and don't carry it during the daytime. But there are many, many ways that we can work at keeping up our oxygen level. And that is probably the most critical part for all of us. Jack and I are both sitting here trying to be sure our oxygen levels stay above 90 while we're talking to you.
Right, you're always monitoring that. And it's important to know that everyone's affected a little bit differently, correct?
Yes.
And what works for one may not work for the other. Jack, who have you had come and speak?
We had Dr. Pammy, a pulmonologist, who I thought gave a really brilliant talk for about an hour and a half. I know that sounds like a long time, but he covered everything, and it was from A to Z. It was very impressive. We've had people from the rehab center to come down and talk about the exercising portion of it.
Right.
And we've had others that were helpful to us. The equipment, for example, how to use the equipment.
Right.
And we have others that will be coming, from time to time.
Well, that's good. You always make sure you have a professional there to give the speech, but then open it up for people to share answers and questions.
Well, there'll be times, too, when we won't have a speaker. We'll just exchange ideas, because we're all learning as we go along. Don't you think so, Bill?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, never go to bed at night without learning something during that day,
Right.
especially if you do have something like this.
Well, I encourage everyone to attend this support group no matter what stage you're in. Maybe you've been newly diagnosed or something that you've been fighting your whole life, or it's getting a little bit tougher for you. Everybody can come to this.
I would encourage, everybody can come, even if you don't feel or have not been told yet that you have a lung problem. But breathing is perhaps one of the more important things that we do day to day.
People that don't think it is important, they'll get something out of it, particularly people that aren't even on oxygen yet, but know that they will at some point in time.
Right, right. We would like the new norm to be a comfortable new norm where you're able to do the things that you enjoy and have fun.
And making your lungs work as well as possible as you mature, rather than age, is probably what we all want to do.
Right,
Our motto is breathe better.
right. Well, let's breathe better and know that support is there for you. Again, for times, locations, and information about the COPD group, refer to your Shell Point Life. Normally, the support group information page is somewhere near the middle of the magazine each month. I'm Mary Franklin here today with Bill and Jack. Make it a happy, healthy, and a good breathing day.
Now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy News, menus, and Village Church connections.
Thanks for tuning in to the Happenings segment. I'm Mary Franklin along with Bev Chanley, and we have a great lineup of activities for you today. We start off at 7:15 a.m. with the Health Connections Bend, Breathe, and Balance. meeting in the health club on the island. Get outside for some exercise with 8 o'clock pickleball right outside the Resident Activity Center, or round-robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands. At 8:15, we have a private shopping experience at Chico's Bell Tower. They're opening up just for us. If you're signed up, we will come around and pick you up on the island at 8:15, Woodlands 8:25, and Eagles Preserve 8:35. Have a good time, and don't forget the credit card. Also at 8:30, we have Ladies Golf Association. 9:15 a.m. is the time for the Caregiver Support Group and Memory Care Group. They will be meeting on the second floor in the Rehab Center up on the island. Sign up is required. At 9:15, you can join the Open Painting Group in the Art Studio or the Shuffleboard Players right outside the Resident Activity Center. 9:30 is the time for Match Play Mixed Doubles Tennis. And that takes us to 10:15 when it's time for Through the Bible Study Group, and they gather in the Osprey Room. 10:30 is time for another Caregiver Support Group and Memory Care Group meeting. They will be meeting on the second floor in the Rehab Center. And if you're signed up, the Susie Q's heading to Rum Runners for lunch at 11 o'clock. Be there by 10:45 so they can leave right at 11. And the last program of the morning is Living Healthy. Everyone is welcome in the Osprey Room at 11:45. Bev, take it away.
Thanks, Mary. We're going to start with Mixed Progressive Bridge this afternoon at 12:30. They'll be in the game room of the Woodlands. At 12:45, we have a Health Connections class, Spanish by Motion. That's in the health club on the island. That's currently full. At 1:15, we have another Health Connections. It's all about you in the Manatee Room. That's currently full. At 1:15, we also have the Knitters Group in the Osprey Room. And we have two more 1:15 activities, the Rollicking Recorderist in the Tarpon Room and the Women's Ministries Prayer Group at 408 Royal Bonnet. Then we'll move to 1:30 for a Health Connections class at the Life Quest Aquatic Center. This one is Aqua Pilates Stretch. At 2:45, we have a Health Connections class as well, Balance and Mobility Training Level 2. That's in the Health Club, and that's currently closed. Well, that finishes up our activities for today, and we will see you back here tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Tuesday. At 10 o'clock, Session 3 of The Story of China takes place in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands, and you can sign up right at the door. Just a quick thank you to our auxiliary volunteers who continue to serve right straight through the summer on 18 committees. These 18 committees make a huge difference in the lives of our friends and neighbors in the Larson Pavilion. If you have some extra time and commitment, please give me a call and I'll tell you how you can join them.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is roast beef with baked potatoes and sautéed mushrooms. The dinner special is build your own stir fry for $12.95, and the soup of the day is vegetarian vegetable. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is turkey cob salad wrap with fresh fruit for $7.25. The dinner special is fried chicken with mashed potatoes and a layered salad for $8.25. Dinner specials on the Palm Grill are baked half chicken for $12.95 or chicken cordon bleu for $13.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Glenda Stephenson, who's our church administrator. And Glenda, things have been noisy around the office lately.
They've been very noisy.
They have been. Of course, we're in the middle of a construction project, the renovation of the Village Church and the auditorium here at Shell Point. And so give us a little update about where we are in that process and what kinds of things have been happening.
Well, the one positive thing about noise is they're working, things are happening, and they have been. A number of things going on. They're trying to finish up some of the electrical part of the project, which has been the most major part of this project. And they're getting ready. In the very near future, they'll be hanging new lights and then replacing the ceiling tiles in the auditorium. They've been channeling cable and electric to run some electric to various parts of the auditorium where we needed it and didn't have it. They've also been leveling floors. Particularly recently, they've leveled the stage floor because of the age of the building. We have some settling issues, and the stage floor was sagging, and so they've had to level that and pour some new concrete there. They've also had to work to shore up the back wall for the stage treatment that's going to go up there. So we've heard lots of sawing and hammering and channeling through concrete and all of that, but we know that progress is being made.
Yeah, you can't rip out concrete in one way or another without some noise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, obviously, it's hard to underestimate the significance of the electrical work. Obviously, when people just sort of look and see what's happening in the building, it may not look like much, but there's so much above the ceiling, isn't there, that has had to be done, and the whole project, probably at least a quarter of it, in terms of expenditure-wise and also time-wise, has been electrical, hasn't it?
That's true. It's been the most major part of the project. But I believe within the course of the next week or two, we'll see some paint going on walls. We'll begin to see some other cosmetic things happening. And that will be an encouragement as we see that move along.
It will be. But I also want to encourage people that to know that that electrical part is the most functional, really, part of this renovation project. It will have a major impact on, I think, the way we're able to conduct not only worship, but also the meetings and various activities and events that we have in the auditorium.
That's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about how the finances are working out for the whole project, that kind of thing.
Well, we've been talking about this all along, and with grateful hearts for the way our people have responded. Our goal's been $1 million, and as of right now, we're over $980,000. So just under $20,000 left to go, and we will have hit our goal. So very close.
That's terrific. Yeah, and the expenditures themselves seem to be relatively in line with what the expectations were, and all those kinds of things are falling into place.
I've been tracking that pretty closely with the Shell Point project management team. And we always leave plenty of margin, and so far we're within that margin. We still have some margin left, and provided we don't hit any major surprises as we go on through the process, I believe we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah. And of course, we're delighted with the work of Bob Southern and Julie Nipper, who are the project management folks at Shell Point. They've done an enormously great service to us and to the entire community by sort of overseeing the contractors as they work on this project.
They know the contractors, they're used to this kind of work, and I think often about the fact that if I was having to do what they're doing, that is all I would be doing. So I'm very, very grateful for their help in this regard.
Absolutely. So things are going really well, and I trust that you'll be patient with us as we go through this renovation project. It won't be too many more weeks and months before we'll actually be in there and be able to enjoy a very much refreshed facility, and one that's more functional in terms of the things that we like to do in the auditorium here at the Shell Point Retirement Community. So blessings to all of you. We're glad you joined us for Village Church Connections. And we hope to see you soon, either in one of the worship service venues at the Grand Cypress Room in the Woodlands at 9 or 11 on Sunday mornings, or at the Social Center at 6:15 on Sunday evenings, before we have the opportunity to go back into the sanctuary proper. So blessings to all of you. We hope to see you soon.
We're glad you've joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow when we hear more about the new day respite program at the Arbor from Director of Assisted Living, Rita Southern, and RN Manager, Stacy Daniels. We'll also meet our new nurse practitioner, Kimberly Hogan. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, July 15th. I'm Dan Filgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.